He was a particularly careful man, especially about guns.
This was a harpoon gun. He was skin diving.
The harpoon gun. Hello and welcome to another episode of Harpoon James Bond. I am November Kelly. I'm joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
Harpoon James Bond. It's another good one. We did it.
Yeah.
I'm scared. I don't
What's
know. I'm getting
happening?
refeeding syndrome. You got to space these out a little.
We've got
Yeah.
podcasters prion disease.
Don't even start with that shit. 7 lean years, 7 fat years. And so we've found another good Euro spy movie. And this time it is called Deadlier Than the Male. You know, the female of the species is deadlier than the male.
Mm-hmm.
I want to compare this immediately to Modesty Blaze, right?
Of
Which
course.
was
Yes.
another good time where it's like any time that movies sit down and go, women,
Mm-hmm.
I immediately go, no matter how toxic it is, I'm like, no, you've got a point there because women really do. Yeah, wow. I mean,
It's a good start.
absolutely.
We're all about women.
What if women, and then I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Uh-huh.
And then what you say next determines a great deal of my reaction, but I'm already at a positive.
And then if your answer to this is, as in Modesty Blaze, women be killing, then I'm like, this is something. We're cooking here.
Women be killing.
Yeah.
This film really do be cooking. This is loosely an adaptation of a pulp hero called Bulldog Drummond, who did was in a bunch of comics in the 20s. Kind of the pulpier, nastier, more overtly fascist James Bond, really big early influence on James Bond, but he wasn't a secret agent or a cop or anything. He was just a bored World War I veteran who was looking for trouble and was also insanely anti-Semitic.
Wow. That really
Wow.
would have put a different spin on the Bond franchise if it was just the secret villain is the Jews.
Apparently the old comics are borderline unreadable now because of how in the time that they were made no one would have raised an eyebrow, but now they're you cannot be saying that shit.
It relies on a lot of assumed knowledge as well. It's saying really esoteric anti-Semitic stuff. It's
Fully.
Well, so are the Bond novels.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, shit about Goldfinger.
Shape of Goldfinger's head.
My God.
Ian Fleming described James Bond as being Bulldog Drummond from the neck down or something. The guy who invented him, H.C. McNeil, I've read some of his First World War fiction. It's not bad. It's kind of like a fascist O. Henry.
Oh, nice.
This is what we're adapting here, and pleasingly, almost no relation to the source material.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's
Yes, 100%.
We're going to ignore that. The guy he's technically called Bulldog Drummond, I guess, but we're just going to make a straight Euro spy movie that's a kind of non-union James Bond.
They were 1960s Kill James Bond. They did the exact same thing. They were give us the rights to this and let us make a movie about it that has nothing to do with the source material and is about women.
It also helps that the guy that they got to play Bulldog Drummond, Richard Johnson, looks like a kind of Sean Connery impersonator in this.
He really does, yeah.
He looks so much like Sean. Listeners, go and look this man up. He looks more like he could be Sean Connery's brother than Sean Connery's actual brother does.
For real.
He has the same haircut, they style it the same way, and he wears the same suit in this. It's so clear what they're doing. He's like Bond, but he has an insanely English accent.
Yeah, he's a better actor than Connery, especially early Bond Connery.
Yeah, this guy does a really good job. What the fuck ever happened to, what did you say his name was? Ryan Johnson?
Richard Johnson.
Richard Johnson. Ryan Johnson's dad.
Yeah, Dick Johnson.
His name is Dick Johnson. Oh my
It's
God.
crazy to have a guy whose name is Dick Johnson and he's British. That's obviously an American name.
That's so good.
The answer to what this guy did otherwise is actually goes some way to explaining why he's a better actor, which is mostly Shakespeare. He'd spent a long time in the RSC. Also, bizarre Wikipedia photo on this guy's Wikipedia page. But yeah, he didn't do many movies, but he did a lot of Shakespeare on stage.
Hell yeah.
He has kind of more range than Connery, who was a model and jobbing actor they got off the street, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
But enough about this guy. We got to talk about women, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because We begin
God.
aboard a kind of airliner office, like a flying office, where your standard issue oil baron is like making deals, doing oil stuff.
Mr. Keller is his name.
Yes. And a very beautiful woman, a very beautiful stewardess, brings him a drink and a cigar. And
where does she get this cigar?
Out of her garter.
She pulls her fucking dress up, and she's got it slipped into her garter. And I've got this set up at all times, just in case you need it.
He doesn't know this, by the way. He's not involved in this. Like, that was my initial thought. I was like, oh, damn, okay. But then, no.
It's like, why is this warm? But no, he's...
Yeah, he lights that little cigar.
He does.
Takes a little smoke on that. And then what happens instantly to this man?
I would say instantly, this man is killed.
It's more instantly than usual, even, actually, because it's not poisonous. It's a fucking, like, it's got a bullet in it, and he's just lit the powder, and it blows out the back of his fucking head.
It kills you instantly.
We're ticking off boxes. We've got the cigarette that kills you instantly. We had that in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Now we've got the cigar that kills you instantly.
We had the pipe, remember?
The firing pipe, yeah.
Do you remember when Mr. Pipe from the movie Jamiroquai Hat Lady and Mr. Pipe Take Manhattan or whatever the fuck
yes.
That was like Eurospy 28, like
100%.
Sure thing, Grandpa. Let's get you to bed. Yeah.
I could not tell you the name of that thing for my fucking life.
You could put thumb clamps on me, honestly.
Wide Lennon, head injury Bond, and like Mr. Pipe. That's all I remember.
We're collecting these off. We now need to see stuff like the shisha that kills you instantly.
The vape.
The joint that kills you instantly. The vape that kills you instantly.
I'm so surprised we haven't had the shisha that kills you instantly. Like, it seems like the kind of mix of Orientalism that, like, one of these would have knocked on.
Okay, a couple of things here.
That was nowhere near as appreciative as I made it sound, by the way.
Brackets bad.
The vape that kills you instantly is in the Kevin Hart movie Lift.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Which we did on Trash Future. The shisha that kills you instantly. I may be going completely insane, but
I'll make you do that, by the way.
You won't.
It's a heist.
I vaguely remember in one of the, like, Q has, like, a secret base in this, like, on location. I vaguely remember one of Q's boys in the background, one of the mid-tier, like, more Bond films, deploying the shisha that kills you instantly.
In the deep, like, moon pussy years, you know?
I want to say Octopussy, yeah.
Yeah.
Could be. I can't. Yeah, it's all a blur now.
There's more Roger Moore movies every time I check.
Before it kills him, she takes out the cigar, she clips it for him, she puts it in his mouth and lights it for him. And my notes say hot. Yeah, and then it kills him.
This woman is insanely hot, by the way. This is Elke Sommer. She's like German, very blonde.
She's so good in this.
This is fucking great. Yeah.
Yeah. So she changes into a cunty parachute outfit, and then she plants a cunty time bomb and jumps out into the cunty ocean.
Yeah, genuinely.
This is really funny because, like, the way she does this is she has smuggled this cigar on board, this cigar that contains a gun, presumably to, like, get through security or whatever. But then, having killed him with it, she takes out a very obvious, like, time bomb. Like, it's got sticks of dynamite and a clock in there. And just, like, props it on a shelf. And I'm like, you didn't have, like, a fun disguise for that? I mean, I know airport security in the 70s being what it was. You could just, like, take your bomb on board, but still.
Yeah.
The soundtrack to this bit is so good because they get like, a sexy saxophone as she's changing into the parachute outfit, be like, it's so, like, yeah.
It's like, women, let's go. You know?
1960s, baby.
Yeah. Women can do anything. On a functional level, this is very close to the opening of Charlie's Angels as well, because she parachutes out of the plane to be picked up by her also insanely hot friend who is driving a speedboat, and the plane blows up above them.
It's LL Cool J.
Yeah, I was going to say LL Cool J.
I have just enough time to note that Mr. Keller's second in command is Pure Spit's Tom Nicholas before he's absolutely fucking vaporized. So R.I.P. Tom, sorry.
Yeah, no, he's gone.
I was going to say he looks like a young Keir Starmer, but sure.
Oh, apologies, Tom.
Fire at will.
We do get a very mid-theme song.
It's fine. I wrote banger, but to be honest with you, I was just excited about women, I think.
Yeah, the song is like, women, they'll kill you.
Women are bitches, yeah. Like, that's basically it.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, nice. That was like the feminist anthem of the fucking year, though, to be honest with you.
Misogynist banger, yeah.
These two ladies are our well, I guess now unemployed stewardess, and the lady in the bikini driving the speedboat the lady driving it is Hen, and then is it Ekman is the bomber? Penelope and Ekman.
Yeah, Penelope and Ekman. It doesn't roll off the tongue. They need a combo name.
The relationship that these two have, though, and I don't know on what level this is intentional and what level this is me being the person that I am watching this movie. Key thing in film studies, you and the film, like, you construct a meaning together. The thing that you bring to it too is also valuable. And so me being a gigantic lesbian, I detect vibes off these two. Like,
obviously. Oh my god. Yeah.
I wrote down, because then we immediately go into another assassination by them. And I wrote down, if the idea here is to just make Mr. Wint and Mr. Kidd women, movie of the year, movie of the century.
They're cooking.
They were so cooking. So we're in like a lakeside villa in Italy. A guy's dictating into a tape machine. He's like, this is the exposition that's going to drive the plot forward. Be very careful with it.
Come in. I'm 009. I feel good about my mental health right now.
My high bone, fine. I'm feeling great.
Feeling like an Italian 009 right now, yeah. These two women in swimsuits come out of the water with spear guns. And he goes for his gun. They shoot it away with the harpoon gun.
Yeah, very cool.
One of their 2 shots that they have is spent just shooting the gun away from him.
On the trick shot.
So that they can deliver a line and then kill him.
So that they can lightly make fun of him in a way that's very hot, where they're like, you know, silly boy or whatever. What a forward young man you are. And then they go, are you 009? He says, yeah. And they fucking harpoon him in the gut.
Yeah.
And take the reel-to-reel tape out of the machine and make good their escape.
No, he got the point.
Actually, this is the thing. Whenever, like, one of them does a one-liner after an assassination, you can see the other one is like, it's usually Penelope is like visibly like done with her shit. Like, there's another one they kill where she like rolls her eyes at her, and I'm like, I love their relationship. This is very cute to me.
Yeah.
How many times have they done this that she's like this sick of it, you know?
She always makes a line. It's great. It really implies a lot. What if Wint and Kidd were smoking hot broads? Film of the year.
Incredible. Yeah.
And obviously, as he's dying, his servant, who we'll meet later, comes by, and he's like, oh, you have to go to James Bond. And then we cut to Bond, Drummond, who is in this version is doing judo, which is an intro we've seen before.
Yeah, obligatory at this point. Like, OSS on set's done it like dozens of times. All the Eurospy movies are like, this guy knows martial arts. We're going to have him introduced by doing martial arts. I'm briefly possessed by the spirit of health and safety because they're doing a bunch of judo throws on a balcony next to like a drop.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm watching it, I'm just like a bit nervous, even though there's a railing. Because I'm like, that's not a safe place to be doing that. Don't do that.
He gets the call to come in and see M. And at this point, we get a reveal that made me be like, what? Because he's not a secret agent. He doesn't work for the military. He's a fucking insurance salesman.
He is an insurance agent.
Yeah.
He's the disguise that they all use in the Bond films.
Yeah, I'm an agent, brackets, insurance.
Yeah.
I love this whole scene, to be honest, because
it's
M goes, do you know 009? And he goes, yeah, he's cool, right? No, he's not. He's fucking dead, which is immediately a beautiful gambit to take to just really hurt the guy's feelings.
It's so good. It's like, you knew 009, right? And he's like, I still know him. And he's like, no, you don't.
Yep.
He is dead, actually.
Yeah. Piece of news number 1, he's fucking dead.
He's gone.
Piece of news number 2, he was shot. And then as we heard in the opening, he goes, well, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't have been shot. He was very careful around guns. Joke's on you, dipshit. He got harpooned.
Yeah, he was skin diving. And then he replies, now I know there's something fishy. He can't swim. Perfect scene. Incredible. Tight dialogue.
And then meanwhile, M's like, God, we're going to have to pay out so much. Like, the odds of being fucking actuarial tables didn't even have a column for harpoon. You got to prove this was murder. Otherwise, we're all fucked, right?
I think it's pretty easy to prove this was murder. He was shot perpendicular to him with a harpoon.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear that can't be self-inflicted.
all of M's lines are delivered like this.
It may sound ghoulish.
Ghoulish, which I really I really appreciate. M is wearing glasses like all the way down his nose. His deal is like, right, you got to investigate this shit because we insured the life of the oil baron who got exploded and shot. Which, why would you even need to shoot him? You had a bomb.
They're testing out the cigarette. You tell me you have access to that cigar. You're not using it at every possible opportunity.
They're doing like fucking Hitman challenge runs.
They are, yes.
Emma's like, do you know how much it's going to cost us because a guy insured with us was killed with a cigar gun and then blown up? Like, you have to find something, otherwise we are entirely fucking bankrupt here, man.
For the love of God, you have to prove this was...
Yeah. You have to like investigate the guy who got cigar gunned. You have to investigate the guy who got harpoon gunned because he was your mate and our 009. And by the way, here's my insanely hot secretary. And the thing is, right, for a long time, Mad Men explores this. Having a secretary was one of the last, it was one of the, at first actually, it's one of the first socially acceptable bastions of femdom in like a kind of public setting. Because you could just be like fucking owned relentlessly by your secretary. His secretary is named Peggy, and I go, fuck, I sure hope she is.
Heyo.
And Peggy is like very tall, very blonde, very beautiful, and also very domineering and is like, take your fucking medicine, M. And fucking Drummond hits on her. And M's like, no, don't, I wouldn't worry about it. She's not like, she's like too morally upright. The next scene, he has already fucked her, which is nice.
Yes.
Very like early Bond kind of character building. Like
It's
she's
quite
like
fun.
in his bed. It's fun, yeah.
Before that, though, we cut across town and there's a meeting of some, like the heads of oil companies, right?
Fuck,
And
I love this so
These
much.
guys, Phoenician Oil, like own up to this. And they're like, so a while ago, somebody came to us and offered to take Mr. Keller off the board if we gave them $1 million. And like, we maybe said yes, but like, we didn't mean kill him. And everyone else is like, wait, so who offered you this deal? At which point, Ekman walks in.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey,
Yes.
I'm here to fucking collect.
Wearing an incredible turban.
Yeah. She's
Like,
like, we took him off the board. He's not going to get in the way of you expanding your oil rights in his region. I'm not going to say how I did it, but you owe me $1 million and maybe you want to pay that, actually.
They're like, we're a consultancy board, right? We promised that we could remove this guy's no vote within 1 year, give or take, for $1 million. His no vote has been fucking removed. And they're all like, this was clearly an accident. And she's just like, her position is, no, it wasn't. You know it fucking wasn't. You're going to pay me the money.
pay your hitmen or women. Like, you have to do it.
Pay your hit woman.
So M, who is on the board, wants to do it. This guy Weston, who's on the board with him, wants to do it. And the holdout is a guy called Bridge North.
Incredible guy.
I love this guy.
Leonard Rossiter.
Is it really? I wondered where I recognized him from. Very distinctive face, very distinctive voice. If you think Bridge North is a kind of awkward name, don't worry. They mention it several hundred times per scene he's
in 2001. That's where you may know him from.
I mean, he also looks like in like original trilogy Death Star officers. He has that kind of energy. It was just like, Lord Vader.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We are now the ultimate power in the universe.
A
like
British character actor. We've lost this face in the arts, unfortunately. It's a real shame.
Yeah, for real. No, I was thinking Reginald Perrin, but yeah, also in profile, he looks a bit like Tony Abbott, which is very, like, jarring.
You're like a more squashed Tony Abbott. Tony's quite tall. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, so this one guy, Bridge North, is like, no, the guy died by accident. We don't need to pay you. Fuck off. And Ackman's like, that's fine. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe we can take another vote. That very evening, Bridge North goes back to his penthouse. I do like the detail that all of the art on his walls is nudes. So, you know, this motherfucker is like
slimy,
horny. Yeah, for sure.
Wettest lips in the world.
Also, I like the detail that Bridgenorth gets through the door and immediately goes for his drinks cart. Doesn't like take his shoes off and he's just like immediately, I get through the door, I'm like pounding whiskey straight away.
I'm slamming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ekman is already there having broken in. She's wearing furs. And she's like, can I persuade you to change your vote by having sex with you? And he goes, yeah, go on.
He goes, yeah, probably you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest with you, yes.
I like that there's a little cat and mouse there. He's like, nice try, but out you go. And then she's like, okay, fine. And he's like, oh, wait.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fucking that.
They kiss a bit and she deploys a poison ring It has a little needle in it, and when jabbed into the back of your neck, it's the ring that makes you make this noise. I don't know why.
Sound of a British man being paralyzed.
And she like jabs him with it and goes, "Have you seen the film Audition?"
You have suddenly become involved in an audition scenario, I'm afraid.
Penelope is also here. She appears, and
Penelope would do the audition scenario.
Well, they lie him on the couch and they say, "You're paralyzed. You can still see, hear, and feel, but you can't move." And at this point, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is fucking hot." Ooh. And then she's like, "We're gonna stage your suicide by throwing you off a balcony." I'm like, "Oh no! Oh no!
Oh wait a minute, that's way worse."
He's still thinking like, "Oh my god, there's two of this is gonna be fucking great." Wait, what? I'm getting fucking Boeinged? Oh no!
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I'm Boeing to die.
Listen, if Boeing's assassins look and act like this, I have information that will lead to a catastrophic share drop.
It's the new I have information that will lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, I have information about the 737 MAX 8. But yeah, so they kind of like vaguely like sexually menace him while he's paralyzed, and then they like throw him off his own balcony, Russian dissident
It's an
style.
amazing dummy shot. I love dummy shot.
I always love a falling dummy. It's so good every time.
The dummy shot makes a bit more sense given that he's meant to be paralyzed, but it is extremely obviously a dummy. Like it's T-posing on the way down.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And Ekman says, "I've had men fall for me before, but never like this."
And Penelope just looks at her like with the fucking like polycule stare of like, for fuck's sake. Like it's just...
It's perfect, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
On cloud nine.
Unsurprisingly, next day when they have the meeting again, she's like, Mr. Bridgenorth won't be joining us on account of he's
for the rest of his life
fucking dead.
On account of I killed him. You gonna fucking give me my money now?
And the rest of them are just like unanimous, like, yep.
Yep. Oh yeah, we reckon.
Yeah, got it here. Cash okay?
I took it out on the way over, if I'm being honest.
So meanwhile, Bulldog Drummond's annoying twink American nephew is in town.
Louie, and Dewey arrive.
They always have an athletic nephew show up, right? This is the classic, like, turn of the century. Well, it's not a turn, it's the 60s, but like, this is your male relation. He's not too close for you to have to worry that much about him. He's not like your kid, but he is your brother's kid. So you will take care of him. It's just nice. I love nephew uncle representation.
He's like he's your ward.
Yeah, he's Robin.
Yeah, it's like LMFAO, you know? It's good to see.
Yeah, sure.
They're nephew and uncle.
Clearly Drummond like hates this kid and is like very annoyed by his existence. But he's like, yeah, fine, whatever.
Like, whatever.
He's a chip off the old block, though, because he's shagging. He tries to pick up the secretary as she's on her way out from fucking Drummond's room, and she's not interested in him.
Not at all. Oh.
This woman, man. Peggy. Fucking
Don't get attached. Doesn't come back, I don't think.
No, Justine Lord, apparently. I have no other. She was in like a bunch of episodes of The Saint.
Justine
and the
Lord.
Avengers.
Oh yeah, there's pictures of her with Roger Moore. Wow, that's a young ass Roger. Fuck Christ, we did awful things to the youth in Roger Moore's day. I'm looking at the haircut that he spent his childhood and like early adolescence with. Devastating.
Oh,
I thought you were going in a slightly different direction with that, and I was going to say I saw Monkey Man pretty recently, and I had the thought that like I'm really, really glad that Dev Patel doesn't want to be James Bond, because like
it's so much better that he's not James Bond.
That he gets to do that instead of being locked in time prison for 10 years like Daniel Craig was.
Daniel Craig honestly should have been doing Monkey Man shit instead. It's such a shame.
For real.
I fucking go see Monkey Man, chat.
For the record, I would love to still play James Bond if anyone's going. I'd love to.
I'll kill someone in a Bond film, please. Hit me up.
So this nephew is like, are you going out tonight with Peggy because I am going to fuck in your apartment?
Yes.
And Drummond's line to this is
no large young men panting hotly all over the furniture.
Which
yeah, I also went back and reheard that a couple of times. I was like, interesting. And to which the nephew responds, only me. You're like, oh, okay, all right. God damn.
bisexual king.
So at this point, Hugh drives a convertible Rolls Royce, which is
Yes, he does.
gorgeous. It's so nice. And he's also wearing the Sean Connery Bond suit, which... And a dude comes to see him. It's 009's servant. And he's like, oh, I've got a little piece of the tape from before, but you'll have that. This is going to be your clue. It's going to be important later. I need to now go and immediately be killed.
Yeah, I'm about to go get Winton kidded.
Not immediately killed, immediately kidnapped by two women who like tranquilize him and like bundle him into the front of a car and then like ruffle his hair while he's unconscious.
I don't think we see him again, do we?
No, we don't, but we find out how he gets killed and he's like, it's not now. They're like gonna like capture him and interrogate him and then they're gonna kill him later for like plot reasons. I know, I also made that noise.
Don't worry, this guy got tortured.
Yeah. He
gets deadlier than the mailed. It's fine.
You can write fan fiction about this. It's fine. It's legal.
Whatever happens in between that, he dies at the end of it. That's all we know.
Yes.
Can you imagine someone writing fanfic about deadlier than the mail? The AO3 for 1967's Deadlier Than the Mail can't be that big. I'm going to find out about it.
I mean, bigger now, I hope. Like Peggy Ashenden ex Irma Eckman, ex Penelope, whatever her surname is. Like, but yeah, so Drummond goes out on another date with Peggy where they're playing chess together. And she says the insanely hot line, my boldness is a refinement all my own. When he asks if M has been like teaching her to play chess so well.
Nice.
And then Weston, the kind of the dipshit from some of the boards, rocks up and misogynistically takes over without asking her side of the board and starts playing
really good
the game. He like makes one move, which is not a very good one, and like goes, oh, my ride's actually here. So like, I guess we can finish this game another time. Absolute dickhead move.
Crazy thing to say.
Also, his ride is fucking the blonde, the German. It's Ekman. We see she's just in the background, but he's with Ekman.
I didn't clock this.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty sure, unless I've got blonde blindness, which actually would explain a lot about. Okay. Yeah.
So meanwhile, his nephew Robert, his nephew is like with an alarmingly young-looking woman.
I'm so glad you picked up on that as well, because I'm like, this girl looks about like 15.
I checked. She was 21 when they made the movie, but she looks way younger, right? Because she has like a kind of like baby face and she's wearing a really high ponytail that looks quite childish.
They're making her look more youthful actively, like by costume choices, though.
Yeah, and it's an intentional thing, even though all of her lines are like, I like to fuck nasty, which is really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it actually is like slightly disturbing. Yeah. Actually, at one point, we get so listeners, you may not know this, but there is did you get the drop of this, Fem?
Which one?
There's an old-fashioned word for drunk.
Oh, yes, tight. Yeah, yes. I don't have a drop of it. I have a drop of the cigar thing.
So she asks for a drink and then says the line, I do all sorts of things when I'm tight, which I was like, wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's an old-fashioned word. Okay, yeah, cool.
Backwards, yeah. Stoned can be drunk as well.
Her name is Brenda, by the way, and the 60s are so funny because, like, you will be fucking with, like, canonically the hottest girl in the world, and her name is either Brenda or Peggy, which is just, they didn't know it wasn't hot yet. You have to, like...
Fun fact, my grandma's name was Peggy.
Peggy. No one knows what's good. Like, well, mine was Agnes, and you got it, like, these things come around. They'll go around.
If you're a lesbian named Peggy now, I think that implies... maybe some different things.
You can just change your name if you want. It's legal. You can be Peggy at any time.
I don't think I can be, but
like you actually have to wait a bit, Lee.
I think it's time. We could bring Peggy back.
We could bring Peggy back through concerted effort.
I've been trying. So
they get a package delivered.
Yeah, I bet she does.
You can bring back Peggy. Brenda spends this entire interaction becoming steadily more and more determined to fuck Drummond. Like she is going to fuck Dick Johnson.
Yeah.
Because the nephew is just like, oh yeah, no, he's very suave and he's just like me. And then like she's like, well, interesting. And he's a little older, is he? That's what's going on. He like starts going like, oh, but but he's too old. Actually, he's like way too old.
He's like crazy old. He's like, yeah, no, it's
yeah. And you can see her being like, okay.
Yeah. And so then Penelope shows up with a gift, with a package of cigars. And in a moment that a drop I have labeled AGP, Brenda like looks at these cigars and goes,
Why shouldn't women smoke cigars?
It's not ladylike.
They make me feel sexy.
and he of course immediately like scrambles to like
Instantly, he's just like grabbing at it. Yeah.
to like light her cigar.
Really good.
Unfortunately, like as we know, this is the cigar that kills you instantly.
Yeah.
They get this really nice line in.
Really good
well,
scene.
the tension's watching it because we know it is. And he says, "You look like a fallen woman," and she says, "I haven't fallen yet." And he says, "Let me give you a push," and kisses her. And I'm like, "Damn, that would work on me. That's good."
It's a really great. There's a couple of really great noir lines. There's another one she has where he says like, "Stop playing hard to get," and she goes, "I am hard to get, but it's worth the effort." And I'm like, why does she look like she's in like sixth form? Like that makes me uncomfortable.
I'm wearing out the 007 logo on the ba-da-ba-da button.
This is real Bond shit. It's great.
For real. It's well written.
Then, of course, the bullet goes off, but she's not got it in her mouth at the time. Shoots the mirror right by our Bond as he comes back in the room.
Yeah, Drummond comes in and he's like, "We didn't have to shoot at me," which is like a quite suave line.
He's like, "I know I said I wouldn't be here, but you know."
Brenda, being a woman, immediately faints. And so Drummond is like, well, fucking like put her in bed or something.
Yeah, the writers are like, let's get her out of this scene.
Yeah, she needs to be out of this scene now. So she just faints. And he's like, we'll put her in bed. I am going to like call my contact about these cigars.
Yeah, because it turns out Drummond has a boy. Drummond has a dude.
This is one of the boys of all time. But so he drives across town to a weirdly lovingly shot multi-story car park. I was fascinated by this, right? And I looked into this, and I think the reason why this is shot so like lovingly in so much detail is because the multi-story car park was a kind of new phenomenon.
It was fresh.
Yeah.
They were like, check this shit out.
This movie was made in 1967.
Fucking car park.
This movie has it has a shot of him getting the little ticket from the machine at the multi-story car park.
Wow. This is like when Bond uses like when they went to Japan and they're like, "Ooh, fuck, it's Japan," but it's like, "Ooh, the exotic English multi-story car park."
It's like where they're like, "Whoa, a cell phone" for like the first couple of years. Really, really good. That's so cool.
It's really charming. It really made me like feel
really
this
nice.
wave of affection to this movie to be like,
lost art.
They were so excited about a multi-story car park.
Yeah, and they should be. They're so much better than fucking land parking.
Yeah, but so he goes to like get in the back of a like blacked out Rolls Royce, and there's a guy waiting for him with the kind of like bulged out eyes and also looking quite effeminate. And I go, "Oh, that's the guy he's there to meet. This is your like classic like fucked up gay little man, the kind of Peter Lorre vibe, right?" And I'm
classic.
like, "That's cool. That's interesting. I like to see that."
Red herring.
That's not his boy. That's his boy's like
henchman,
secretary, henchman. Like, yeah, he just like drives him to his boy, Mr. Boxer.
Yeah.
How is this man introduced?
Misogyny.
He is getting a massage.
Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah, I remember.
On like in front of a projected beach from a black woman in a bikini who is the only non-white no, she's not, but she's like one of 3 non-white people in this movie. All of whom are beautiful women, none of whom have any lines.
Yes.
And this is Mr. Boxer, Drummond's underworld contact. And the pendulum swings back again because I'm suddenly fond again because this guy's deal is Cockney geezer.
Yeah. Yeah. Really? Yeah, Cockney geezer. He's like, "Oh, I don't get that much. I've been officially dead for 3 years, oi, oi." And you're like,
Oi, do a bit of crime.
I love him immediately. I'm like, all right, go on. He's Ray Winston in Sexy Beast. Like, he's fucking great.
Yeah.
He does crimes, but he says he never touches anything that's insured by Lloyd's because that's Drummond's company. I'm like, ha ha, nice.
Yeah, because again, this guy is just an insurance agent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a bit of like train robbery every now and then. He does a bit of like wages vans.
I never touched anything insured by Lloyd's, which unfortunately means I am morally implicated in the slave trade, as your company did insure a lot of those slave ships and still haven't paid any reparations on that, which you should really ought to get around to, actually, Drummond.
The Lavender Hill mob's like DEI statement is benefited for a long time from this.
Unfortunately, Drummond, I do have to boycott the LGBT Pride Awards because of your sponsorship of them. It's nothing personal. I use that as an example.
My daughter's been teaching me all sorts about woke.
They were in Korea in the Korean War together,
Yeah, I didn't know we were in that.
Where they escaped a North Korean prisoner of war camp together, and that's how they know each other.
Yeah. Remember when we was in the pussy mine palace?
Oh, wow, yeah, shit, we were in the Korean War.
I'm still there.
We're absolutely in Korea, yeah.
Oh, this is me learning this in real time.
My grandfather was in Korea.
What the fuck was he doing in Korea?
Escaping from a North Korean prison pussy cell.
Running out of ammunition and throwing mess tins at Chinese volunteers, mostly.
Being tortured with scorpions.
I don't know if my grandfather was ever tortured with scorpions or in a North Korean pussy mine palace.
But we can say that maybe. It's more likely than my grandfather, who didn't do that. My guy was here the whole time.
Number of times your grandfather has been in Korea, yeah.
He's been nowhere near a scorpion at any point, I gotta be honest.
Don't know exactly where my grandfather went. Not sure I really want to find out.
Yeah, it's sort of the Cara Delevingne problem with British actresses, you know?
Don't worry about it.
You don't want to turn over that stone.
Let's talk about the other one. Oh, he was a cop? Ah, fuck.
But so, Boxer goes, we simply consult my geezer archives.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic bit, right? Because he just has a kind of like, he has like a prim Google.
Yeah.
So he just like asks a guy, do we have any records on the guy who got killed, the other guy who got killed, exploding like gun cigars?
It's harder nowadays because of AI. It keeps telling me about a Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah. We found the bird who sold the cigars. Also, have you ever tried mixing glue into cheese sauce? Give it that extra tackiness.
Oh.
It's like Blagger Siri comes back at him with like, oh yeah, don't worry. The cigars were bought at Aldgate Bomb Specialists. I note down.
Yeah, they manufacture these cigars. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. But by like a fit bird.
Registered company. Oh, yeah?
Like,
nice.
This is information you could equally have gotten by like waiting for the alarmingly young woman to wake up and asking her who she answered the door to.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, maybe. That's fine. Oh, God, that makes so much more sense. Shit, I didn't even think about that. Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, then he's immediately gone. I'm like, I wanted more of this guy. I wanted him to, help the bag, storm the whatever at the end with his goons, but instead it's just like, oh, I'll be in the sequel, even more deadlier than the man. Maintaining male pattern deadliness even after transition Drummond. Statistically.
There is a sequel, and we're going to watch it.
Yes! Woo! Looking forward to seeing this guy again.
It's called Some Girls Do.
Fuck,
I can't wait.
Hell yes.
At this point in this movie, and for the rest of it, I'm really enjoying this. I'm having a great time.
I love this fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that itch in the back of my head. It's like I need to show an entire theater full of queer people this movie. I'm just like,
this and Modesty Blaze.
Zardoz too. It's on the screener list.
I gotta message Ben and ask him how the fuck to do that.
We need to own and operate a small independent cinema is the main thing about us.
It's only gonna be shit like this.
Yeah. Modesty Blaze and Deadlier Than the Male. But so he gets back to the multi-story car park, and the movie's like, whoa, check out this multi-story car park.
Whoa.
You know what else has got in it? Goons. 6 or 7 goons try to jump him. And this is a real artifact of the 60s. They're all wearing suits and ties.
Yeah. Nobody dresses up to go through a gooning anymore. No, I don't want to say it like that. Nobody. Shit. No.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's true.
Yeah, I think they
Extremely
do.
loud, incorrect buzzer.
And yeah, these guys try to beat him up. We get some judo.
Yeah, judo throws a guy onto a hay cart.
He does torture a man.
He does.
A little bit of unprovoked violence.
With a Rolls Royce, which has some real class, especially since this guy's also a Cockney geezer. This is a quite well-spoken man threatening to break his legs by running him into a wall with a Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
and you're
not great.
See the violence inherent in the system.
I will say I do love any fight where you can see all the henchmen collectively decide, fuck this.
Yeah.
I really love that moment. It's always great.
Yeah. It's not worth this.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really know anything. He says, oh, a fit bird told me to do this.
It's fit birds, isn't it?
And,
I was waylaid by a lesbian polycule.
Happens to the best of us, my man.
Fit bird told me to goon you. Goon this geezer.
Also, I just learned you got to eat 1 small rock a day.
We should never have automated our geezers. We should never have done it.
You'll have to excuse me. I've got so many dogs in these hot cars. I hear it's fine. This is hyper topical. We can't do this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
impenetrable in like 2 weeks.
Okay, so he like comes back to his apartment and the alarmingly young woman. And the alarmingly young woman wakes up.
Yeah, she does.
Takes a bottle of champagne and then just goes back to bed. Girls rock.
Girls rock.
She's like target fucking acquired. She wants the old man penis.
She is a DILF cock seeking missile, and she is launched the second she regained consciousness.
This is like co-written by Jeffrey Epstein, this scene.
The missile knows exactly where it is. It knows this by knowing where it is.
Genuinely. This scene is so funny.
So they have adjacent rooms, like her and Drummond. And so she keeps like making excuses to come into his room, being like, can I have a bottle? Can I get champagne? Can you open the champagne? Can I have a glass of water?
She's locked the nephew out of the room at this point as well. He's on the sofa. Yeah.
It is quite charmingly acted. She does this well. And at one point she's like, oh, this door doesn't lock. And he's like, tried putting a chair against it. And she's still trying. She's like, oh, I can't make the chair work. Could you do it for me? And he closes the door and puts it against his side.
It's so funny because like he keeps sending her away and she'll close the door and then there'll be like 2 to 3 beats and then it'll open back up again. She gets the chair and comes in with him and is like, can you show me how to do it? And they both go in and you're like, she's done it. She's nailed it. And then you see him come in and close the door and put it against his side.
It's a really good bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really good because I identify with her as opposed to him. I'm like, come on, let me at it.
I like that he doesn't fuck her. I like that she's
too.
too young for him.
So good.
You know, like
he does the old man Connery thing, but without being an old man himself. Like it took the James Bond series genuinely like another couple of decades to get away with a guy being like, no, you are too young for me to have sex with. And even then, it was only because he was fucking geriatric. Mm-hmm. Like this is an actual prime of his life guy going, no, you are too young.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just middle-aged. It's just that she's shot to be like younger, like a teenager or something. And it's like, yeah, this would be gross. To be fair, the next morning his nephew does act like he has been like cucked by his uncle, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, cucked by my uncle. He's fuming at him. It's so good.
Yeah.
And then he's like, can I have £100? Because my friend...
Which back in the day was like 15 trillion quid as well.
Yeah.
Can I have the GDP of like Austria, please?
Because my friend from Princeton, Pogo, is like going to go on a Mediterranean cruise. I want to buy some new clothes. And I like that Drummond gives him a blank check. And it's just like, fuck off. Like, get out of my house.
Yeah, because he's like, you mean you're not going to be in my apartment stopping me from fucking? Fine, absolutely. Here is a literal blank check.
Also, please, like, date older women.
I'm so often saying this and thinking this.
Mm-hmm. That's the tagline for the podcast, actually.
Yeah, Kill James Bond, date older women.
It's really good.
We just do the Kill James Bond dates older women tour.
This is our like pet project. This is our like charity we set up in us in essence.
The dating older women project.
Yeah.
We are encouraging the dating of older women.
That's no, I know I am. Older women.
We're giving something back.
Are we the older women or are we... I'm confused.
I'm not the older woman in this scenario.
I'm looking for women older than me. So women in their like, I guess, mid 30s up.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're in your 40s, like fucking get at me.
There was that time recently I hit on that supermodel who I didn't realize was 20 until I Googled.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
I could tell this story on the podcast, or like a version of it. So listeners, a while ago I was on a plane and I complimented this girl in the airport on her outfit. She complimented me on mine. Turns out we're on the same plane. Turns out we're sitting next to each other. Turns out we really fucking hit it off. Turns out she's trans. She's a model. She's coming to London to be the first trans woman on the cover of like whatever. And, you know, I decided, well, fuck it, you know, right? I've a shot right when we get to the other end. And at some point during the flight, she says, I wish my like TV screen could do split with Subway Surfers. And I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, so you must be a little bit younger than me.
Oh, no. Yeah, alarms immediately.
I'm like, I don't know, you could be like 25, like 26. I'm like, yeah, okay, like that's doable. Like half year, 7, that's allowed. And then we get to the other end and she says, oh, can I get your details? She's wearing a ring. And I say, is that like an engagement ring? And she says, no, it's a family thing. And I go, well, I'm so glad because I think you're really gorgeous and pretty cool. So if you want a tour guide while you're in London, let me know. And she's like, cool, I'll message you. And I walk away and I'm like, won't be that many trans models who are going to be the first on the cover or whatever. So I just Google her. Turns out she's a massive fucking supermodel, like huge trans model, like major big fucking deal, and I did not know. And B, she is 20 years old, and I'm like, oh, okay.
You're like, whoa, holy shit.
The thing is, like, transness like throws these things off.
Ripcord. We can't talk at all right?
Yeah. It can't be seen. You can't even drink in your country. Like, no.
I've hit on trans people before. I'm like, you're like, what, like 30, right? And then they go like, oh, I'm like 24. And I'm like,
this
cool.
Motherfucker doesn't even know the Queen of Soul.
I'd be handing myself into the police immediately. Like,
I'm getting off this plane. I'm walking to Scotland Yard. I'm going, put me away.
24's in my zone. Like,
it's in mine, but it's in mine in a kind of like uncomfortable way where it's like,
it's at the bottom end.
Yeah, like I don't like myself very much for it being in the range, I guess, you know?
I don't know. I think if you'd introduce them at a party and be like on the edge of killing yourself, if anyone asked one follow-up question, that's probably too young. Just be like, holy shit.
Where did you meet? Gates of the fucking school? Like,
yeah.
If you can plausibly be in like graduate school or like doing a master's or something, then I think it's probably okay. I don't know. Let's move on from this.
Yeah, sound off in the comments how young you think is okay.
Kill James Bond, date younger women? No.
So the nephew is coming out of the store and he's wearing a big "I date older women" t-shirt and runs headlong into Penelope, who is like, shit, nice shirt. It would look great on my bedroom floor.
My God, yeah, no, she's also a missile. It's crazy.
Penelope is like incredible in this because like whenever she's going for it, she is going for it. You are in no illusions as to she is coming at these men like pussy first. It's like remarkable. It's like an Austin Allegro. It goes faster in reverse, you know? It's aerodynamic. So she basically like grabs this kid off the street like with the pretext of like
fucking idiot. Yeah.
I know.
He picks her up because they bump into each other and their packages all get jumbled up, and he says, I've got an idea. Why don't we go somewhere private and then we'll decide whose is whose? And she's like, great. Nice.
Yes. You know? Nice.
Now, across town, Ekman is doing the same fucking shtick on a different group of oil tycoons, including Weston. She's like, oh, there's this king who's getting in your way. The king of...
Akmata.
Maybe a fictional country. Drummond realizes that the little like clip of the tape is like assassinate the act. He's like, oh, assassinate the king of. Oh, right, like this is what Weston was onto. This is what like 009 was onto. Weston, their buddy, the guy from earlier, he's on the board.
So dumb chess guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they bring him in and they're like, oh yeah, stay away from her. She's trouble. Like we're investigating her. And Weston's like, cool.
Yeah, we'll do, man.
Yeah, I'm in the movie. Don't think too hard about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So
do you think I did not suspect him at this point?
No, me either.
No, I did not crispen those potato snacks.
Oh my God, they were uncrispened?
I was too busy thinking about this next scene. We're approaching the fucking nexus of the thing. So Drummond follows Ekman, right? And like in a kind of follow that cab thing. And in a fucking really pretty nice like house in central London.
Yeah.
Which now no one could afford. I just have property brain. Penelope is torturing the nephew. I will stop calling him the nephew at some point if his name ever becomes like apparent to me. And she's like Robert, right? And she's like menacing him, and she's like, oh, you know, if Ekman comes back and you haven't told me anything, she's gonna be really mad at me with all the fucking like psychosexual implications of that.
Well, he's tied down shirtless on a table.
Yes,
but she kisses him actually.
She does.
Mm-hmm.
And then she like burns him with a cigarette. She puts a cigarette out on him. I wouldn't have minded if she had just asked, and this is why, right? Because this is kind of hot. I'm sorry.
No strong comment from my end. To be honest, I think I might have missed this scene.
It's reasonable, but yeah, I mean, it helps that she sells it very well.
Yeah.
She like burns him a bit, and like he still doesn't tell her anything, which
Ekman comes back.
Ekman comes back and is kind of weirdly jealous that she's been torturing him without her, which again, polycule vibes.
Yeah, she says you've done a very untidy job.
Yes.
Fucking Duke of Burgundy ass, and she says, and you're wearing my negligee. So she's fucking stealing her underwear. Like, I don't...
That catty. This is great.
How much like less subtle can this movie get about these two?
I do think it's weird that Penelope's like trying to have a career again after this scene. I think that's I don't think that's gonna work.
I got as far as like clit and trib, but then I decided that was probably too lesbophobic for me to say.
Yeah, I don't know if you could be saying that shit.
For Winton Kid, but
yeah. Ekman comes in and is like, you've done a terrible job of like torturing this guy.
Just Googling one of those.
Were you having a psychotic episode?
Genuinely unbelievable. 2 Bs.
This is like dog shit work.
I just Googled trib and got the Transport Research and Innovation Board. I don't think that's right.
Tribbing, 2 Bs.
So she like gags him with some sticking plaster, which is a very like 60s like kind of pulp vibe.
Fucking entry-level lesbian over here.
And
oh, pussy frotting.
Just found out about this.
Pussy frotting.
It's pussy frotting, 100%.
I must be dreaming.
I love Nova diligently attempting to get through this scene.
Yeah, and then you took me out with pussy frotting, and I had to do the fucking Connery.
Pussy frotting? I sure hope it no.
But so they then set up another one of these time bombs. And the whole time they're fucking like rustling his hair and like fucking like making faces at him. And I'm like, again, none of this is like not hot. You just have to do it with a degree of like responsibility.
Consent.
Like, I don't object to being blown up with a time bomb, providing you like fucking check in every now and then.
Yeah.
Like, this is basic stuff. And for you then to go like, oh, I've recently detonated some things that I've since been informed were time bombs is just like a kind of obvious dodge. Anyway, they leave.
They always manage to say the safe word at 0.01. It's crazy.
Saying the safe word on 0.007 seconds. Da-da, da-da. So the two of them leave. Penelope is like stealing bits of jewelry off of Ekman and stuff. She's like, I think this is probably like a problematic term now, but like Penelope is defined constantly as being a nymphomaniac, kleptomaniac, and it's a beautiful combination of personality traits. She loves stealing and fucking.
Yes.
And honestly, I think that makes her an icon. So they leave. Drummond shows up to rescue his nephew. And first of all, sees him tied shirtless to the chair and goes, I didn't know you went in for this sort of thing. Which is funny.
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly, like, you know, open-minded, I guess, for the 60s.
Yeah, no, remarkably so.
And then we have the line that causes me to lie face down on a cold marble floor. Because he's like, his nephew's like, hey, there's a time bomb, but he's like just going to scream at him through the like gag, and he goes,
That's a nasty burn. And then you ought to learn how to control your girlfriends, yeah?
fucking tell me about
Come
it.
on, man. You don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's fighting battles you know nothing about, all right?
Yeah.
Bulldog Drummond.
Yeah, Drummond, you do not need to make a fucking drama video out of this, you fucking scum. Absolute scum.
Bottom feeders.
But so Drummond sees the time clock just in
Does
time.
turn it off at 0.07 or whatever.
Yeah.
Turns it off at 0.0 Drummond.
There's a beautiful moment where they're in the car and his nephew's like, he's got a towel wrapped around him. He's got a visible cigarette burn on the tit. He's like looking completely traumatized, like 1,000-yard stare. And I'm like, just
like,
yeah. But the detail that takes me out of this is Drummond goes to him, I'll drop you off at A&E. I'll pick you up in half an hour. And I just think about 1967, you could not only get seen, but get treated at a London A&E within 30 minutes.
Yeah, man, you ain't even getting a fucking number after half an hour. You're not going to get in the door.
No.
But to be fair, also, this was 1960 whatever, where the population of planet Earth was like 10 people.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. And most of the injuries that happened in the 60s were like this, you know, like sexual misadventures, right? Rather than, because all the stuff that was happening in the 60s that was killing people hadn't like kicked in yet. All these people were like going to get mesothelioma and like every different cancer and all that shit, but they were going to get it in like, 20 years time. So, you know, back in the day, they were fine.
It's like microplastics. These motherfuckers had no idea what was going to get them in their old age.
It's like prions.
Yeah. It's not like prions.
During the car conversation, it emerges that Robert's friend Pogo, who he was going to go to the Mediterranean with, is the king of Akmada. Pogo is just what we called him at uni because we're lads, right? And so I was like, well,
classic.
I was going to go and see him in Castellamare, which Italy, And then Drummond's like, holy shit, that's where 009 was at the start of the film. This has actually been quite nicely written. Now we've got a good... It's not just next location for the sake of it. We've got a good reason to go there. Like,
right?
Yeah.
So they go to next location and they check out 009's house.
There's a bit where they like try to... Is the bombing just prior to this, before they go?
Oh, yeah, you're right. They try to go and see Weston, and Weston's office gets fucking blowed up.
He's in with Ekman at the time, and he's just like, you gotta let me in, and it just, whole thing fucking explodes.
They 9/11 Weston's office. Yeah. There's like a pair of legs sticking out from under the desk.
It's like, oh, okay.
So R.I.P. to that guy. He was a dick.
R.I.P. Weston.
Yeah. So now we like...
Rest in peace, Weston.
Yeah. Weston peace.
Then we go and see the Italian guy who's renting out 009's villa, who says one of the great things about this villa is you can see opposite, there's a castle across the bay. And he says there's lots of beautiful ladies in there. And he goes, Mamma mia, the ladies. And I'm like, yes, me too.
Mamma mia. That's also the tagline of the podcast.
Yeah, he's like, the most beautiful women I've ever seen live in this castle, which to be fair, he's not like wrong about.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
The house has been trashed, right? And Drummond surmises that the reason why is because the two like lesbians have been looking for the bit of reel-to-reel tape that they weren't able to find, and which the Italian guy like dropped off to him before getting immediately kidnapped.
Yes.
Also, they realize that it's probably those two ladies who trashed the place because they find the butt of a distinctive cigarette.
Yeah, and he goes, hey, you recognize this? And just effortlessly re-traumatizes the kid.
The kid just goes, oh!
Yeah.
Ironically, having a unique cigarette design was a Bond thing in the books. They just never did anything interesting with it. This is already better than Bond again.
It's a nice, like, luxury cigarette. It's got like a gold filter and like it's like purple paper. It's like, it's really nice. I again, this is the thing. If you're gonna do these things, do them with a bit of style rather than like Marlboro Lights. Like, for fuck's sake. But yeah, so they also notice a bit of like scope glint, enemy at the gate style, from the big castle full of beautiful women. And Drummond immediately goes, someone's fucking watching us through a telescope. And indeed, we see that someone is watching them through a telescope.
We get a little bit of racism because they go on to the King of Akmara, Pogo's yacht.
Yes. Incredible goon fits, by the way.
Yeah.
The yacht is called Mabruk, and all of the guys are wearing like Mabruk embroidered shirts and t-shirts.
They've dressed up for the gooning.
They dress up.
It's a goon outfit. It's a good gooning outfit.
What's your goon fit? Post off in the comments.
Yeah, Robert says, where's the harem? Which I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't think you can say that. I wouldn't do that if I were you.
No, you can't say that shit at all.
Problematic. I mean, Pogo kind of laughs it off.
Well, he says we never needed a harem at Princeton, which I was like, okay. That's a funny way to brush it off, I guess.
Again,
no large young men panting hotly all over the furniture.
Yeah.
A couple of different ways you could read not needing the harem.
Yeah, true. Didn't need the harem at Princeton because you jacked me off.
Yeah, you're fucking and sucking each other.
No, we were cock tribbing.
Yeah. Oh, damn, I was just about to fucking... You beat me to it by seconds.
Cock frotting. This is a Northern Line train for cock frotting.
All right, okay, there we go.
The next station will be dogging. So...
Regret to inform you, this train is cancelled.
Dogging and slagging them, I don't know. Right.
Yeah, we're pulling our way through this one.
What is happening here? Oh,
Robert goes to a party on the boat.
Yeah.
But a sexy lady arrives and says, Drummond, could you please come up to the castle? You've been summoned by the master of the castle. I was like,
oh, yeah.
So he's welcomed to the door by a geisha, and he greets her in Japanese, which is a nice little touch.
The worst Japanese I have ever heard in my life. This man says, domo arigato.
Yeah.
Good enough.
First in Oriental languages at Cambridge.
We didn't need Oriental languages at Princeton. I don't know.
And she leads him to meet the villain.
Yeah, and he's in like the classic chair, spins it round.
And it's fucking Weston.
You piece of shit. Obviously, at this point, finding out that it was a man all along, I was like, boo.
I know. It's a real shame.
But yeah, no.
Seriously.
At least he's misogynistic, right?
It's called Deadlier Than the Male, and this guy is the male. Like, anyway.
His real name is Peterson.
Yeah, Carl Peterson, which is the name of the antagonist from the like old pulp comics, and which was like a deliberately like insanely anti-Semitic thing, because this guy was meant to be like Moriarty or whatever, but like he owes allegiance to no nation. He's a kind of cosmopolitan international criminal, if you follow me. The movie doesn't bother adapting any of that, thank God.
I can hear these brackets. Holy shit.
His name is Conald Peterson.
Real bad.
It's so badly done and so antiquated that in some ways it escapes notice because the name Carl Peterson does not set off the big echo detector. But
they were so steeped in anti-Semitism that they're like little dog whistles now at this point genuinely do not pass muster. No one at this point is going to go, Carl Peterson, I see what you're putting down here.
Oh.
Yeah, this is very odd. The car is called Fed Smoker. The guy is called Peterson.
So Carl Fedsmoker says,
R.I.P. R.I.P. to a real one.
For real, though.
Speaking of anti-Semitism.
A real day one heads. Real fucking day one.
Welcome, Mr. Bond. I have assembled the United Nations of 10 out of 10 smoke show baddies.
Yeah.
Genuinely, he's like, I have a beautiful Japanese woman. I have a beautiful Indian woman. It is important that you know you can fuck any of them at any time so long as I can watch and, so that you know that my dick's not racist. It's genuinely remarkable. Yeah. He fully just shoves the Indian woman in front of him. He's like, hey, you want to fuck her? Can I watch? Yeah. From the cuck chair.
And Drummond has this line where he says, I prefer to roll my own.
Still pretty good line.
Some great fucking lines in this. For example, when it's revealed that it's Peterson, Drummond says, I stayed in London for your cremation. And Peterson goes, I'll make a point of going to yours. It's so good. It's so yes.
The character of Weston is kind of feckless and posh, whereas once he's Peterson, he becomes gayer and smarter. In the same way as the guy from Modesty Blaze.
Yes.
This was the only way you could be a villain in one of these movies, was to be the world's gayest heterosexual cuck.
At least in Modesty Blaze, he's gay the whole time.
But his plan is he uses his sexy ladies in every country to short stocks by assassinating CEOs and making it look like suicide.
Yeah.
He fully just goes, no one ever thought of this. Everybody's been trading on the stock market. No one thought of just killing him.
Genuinely, they're talking about it. They're like, it's this well-contrived accident. And it's not really that well-contrived. Largely, it just looks like explosions. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's mostly bombs.
So the thing about the free market, Drummond, is it turns out you can manipulate it using violence. No one's ever tried this before.
This guy's Ricky Gervais in The Invention of Lying, except he's just invented killing people. And he's like, this actually solves so many problems you will not believe.
The only innovation he's brought to this is, what if they were all hot women?
What if a hot broad did it?
They didn't even invent the cigar gun because they bought those.
They bought those wholesale. They got that out of a magazine.
I mean, this is kind of, my notes say, based ?
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Anything that involves the United Nations of hot women is going to be based to me. The United Nations of hot women have not done enough to stop any of the crimes happening internationally, but
the United States of hot women are fucking impotent, quite frankly, but whatever, man.
Yeah, the estrogen does that. I should text my CEO friends and warn them off this, actually.
But yeah, so he's like, check out what I like to call my operations room, which is a bizarre line because it just is an operations room.
Yeah, I like to call this the bathroom. So, okay, yeah.
I like to call this my hallway. And then he goes, check out what I like to call my dojo. This is a dojo. There's a guy in there called Chang. And Chang is going to be...
Here's your Mongo.
Yeah, Chang, big guy, very big guy.
Big guy.
Martial arts.
Yeah.
I like to call this guy Chang because that's his name.
Is this guy
just doing this with fucking everything? Yeah, I like to call... Hello and welcome to what I like to call Kill James Bond.
You should do that. That's funny.
Date older women.
I do feel slightly strange asking this question, but what is this man's race?
Well, he's a white guy.
Well, it's Milton Reed who...
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Is it a white guy? Sorry. Excuse me.
Sorry. All right, what happened there was I opened up Milton Reed's IMDb and I read the first line and it waylaid me very heavily. And that line is, although he liked to sign his autographs, perhaps jokingly, Milton Gaylord Reed, his real name was Milton Rutherford Reed.
Yeah, I like to do that too. If you have a signed poster from the live shows, you'll note that my...
A little bit of a bit. I like to call myself Gaylord when I'm doing signature.
November Gaylord Kelly.
I just opened this up. Huh? Oh shit, this guy played Sandor.
Yeah.
In The Spy Who Loved Me. He was the short one who was there with Jaws, the tall one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was the wide one. It appears to be his father was Scottish and his mother was Indian, I believe. This guy got dropped off a building in Egypt by the Thai.
Okay, nudging up the racism score.
And is named Chang.
Yeah, worth noting neither of those would... Chang is a... Yeah.
Yeah, I simply think of the show Community anytime I hear the name Chang.
He shrugs off several Uncle Jocks.
He does. But like Drummond out judos him, which is how you know that Drummond's like cool. Is because like to make an example of him, Peterson's like, Chang, why don't you fucking Chang this guy up? And Chang does not successfully Chang this guy up and instead gets like thrown and then uncle chopped a bunch of times.
Disgraceful.
Several British sex films, additionally non-sexual roles in a couple of hardcore porn films.
Which actor was that?
Milton Reed.
Right, sorry, you gotta keep me updated.
The Gaylord? Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, Gaylord. Interesting.
Gaylord Reed accepted non-sexual roles in hardcore porn. So,
yeah, fair enough, man, if they're paying.
He was in the cuck chair then, right?
Fair enough.
Kind of the Dave Courtney of his time.
Get your money, honestly.
They have this dinner scene, like, Mr. Bond, come and enjoy dinner with my lovely ladies. Drummond tries to wind Peterson up, and he says, oh, Mr. Drummond is trying to provoke me, to which Penelope says, he can provoke me anytime.
Penelope is, again, a missile.
Pussy first.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's so many good lines in this. Like, they offer him a cigar. He says, I hear they're not good for your health. Like, it's so
a really good script.
It is very tightly written. I really like that he goes for the best possible gambit in this case, which is Bond's just there going like, this whole thing's just funny, you know? It's really campy, isn't it? Like, you've got the girls, you've got this guy over there. Like, what is this, man? This is funny. The guy's like, no, it's not. This is my criminal enterprise.
There is nothing gay about this. And he calls it theatrical. And like, Peterson's like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Fuck off. You've got to take it seriously, all right?
Just like earnestly, like seriously hurt emotionally. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Yeah, genuinely, he does seem to be quite upset about it.
But so he shifts a bit because like there's, you know, a non-white person in the room. So he shifts to provoking Chang by being like, oh, this guy's a terrible butler and also like his sword sucks or whatever, which prompts Chang to try and attack him with the sword. And Peterson stops him and Ekman goes, well, hold on a second. This could be based. This could be funny to watch.
What if this is cool?
Yeah, what if this is... Let's see where he's going with this. And where he's going with this is like easily knocking Chang unconscious, taking his sword and like threatening Peterson with it. But he has forgotten the existence of two of these women who have machine guns. And so he's just like held at gunpoint.
He's marched back to his room, in fact, at which point Ekman says, I want to shag you so you die happy. We get this exchange, which is also just my inner monologue at most times, where she says, do you like my body? And he says, not bad. A little bit muscular, perhaps.
But then he's like, but then again, I guess you've got to expect that in your line of work.
Yeah, true.
He's like, not to my taste, but I understand it. I get it.
Like doing her a favor. Like she looks incredible.
She looks
and
unbelievable.
Also not like hugely muscular. Like she's got like nice like back muscles and stuff. But like even for the standards of the time, he's clearly just like provoking her.
This scene, my notes say, better than Bond ever did it. The kind of mutual seduction and the one-liners, like, it's really good.
Yeah, a little bit.
When he refuses her, she calls him unnatural, which is like the best possible reaction is to be like, do you like my body? No, you are gay.
What the fuck?
You must be gay.
Yeah. This guy's gay as hell.
Hard F slur immediately. Just like... Definitionally, if you do not like this, you are not attracted to women. Meanwhile, Peterson is watching through the kind of cuck television set. I was joking when I said the cuck chair initially, but like he fully is. He's just like watching them and presumably would be watching them fuck as well.
CCTV close cucking television.
That's pretty good.
Close cucking television.
Ekman is so pissed off that he wouldn't shag her that she wants to fucking kill him.
Genuinely, she just walks back in the room like, let me do it. Let me fucking kill him.
He called me mid, let me kill him. Let me kill him. Please
genuinely let me kill him, please.
He's like, no, because one of the other girls, the one who was like introduced in the dojo, Grace, who seemed a bit uncertain, is going to try and betray us by going in there. And so she does. And on close cuck television, they all see her be like, I can help you escape or whatever.
Yeah. She's like, I want to go insurance witness or whatever. Let me out.
Do you work for like some kind of law enforcement agency?
Yeah.
Secret Service, right? Please, one of them? He's the only other insurance guy who's showing up being like, I'm a secret agent, actually. Like, he's reverse bonding.
So Chang grabs her on the way out, and Peterson goes, okay, well, fine. Penelope, you have fun with him. And what Penelope does is she, like, gasses him unconscious like an old boy.
Penelope is ready to fuck. Like, she's ready. She just enjoys doing shit, honestly. Like, just turns on the thing. Mm-hmm.
I think she sexually assaults him. Like, she knocks him unconscious.
It's pretty clear that she does, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've ever seen it that way round.
With the sissy hypno gas. And then just goes in and, like, fucks him while he's, like, semi-conscious. Which is not acceptable.
Penelope is not great about consent.
Yeah.
She's not good about consent.
I mean, maybe she was having a psychotic episode at the time, you know.
That's bad in a way that, like, the scum system can't account for.
That's true. The scum system only accounts for misogyny.
Bit of self-directed DBT will fucking fix that right up.
We fully, like, built the flawless system apart from when women...
We didn't expect that women could do something bad.
No, neither did I.
We didn't think they could be deadlier than the male.
I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we tag another M on the end for misandry. I don't know.
We'll have to talk about this at the end.
So he comes down to breakfast in the morning.
Would you like to play giant silly chess, Mr. Bond?
Yeah.
Fucking straight out of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movies.
I love a fucked up chess scene. You're bluffing.
There is no easier way of showing that someone is a megalomaniac than big chess sets.
It's so funny that the only chess we've seen him do so far is like step in on someone else's game and fuck it up. And then he raises the chess out of the ground. It's like, all right, man, okay.
Yeah, big fucking chess.
Voice-controlled chess.
Yeah. Bond, the computer will use AI to interpret your natural speaking instructions.
And he has a kind of like big Dalek chess set, yes.
Yes, he does, yeah.
Yeah.
They move around like in Harry Potter where you say it out loud and they move to the right. It's like wizard chess, except it's not. It's normal guy chess, but big.
Yeah. And they play the four Knights game, which is like dog shit chess. Once again, that's like beginner shit.
Dog shit, yeah. I don't know what's happening here, man.
So Penelope and Ekman go down to the boat with Grace, who doesn't know that she's being set up here.
Yeah.
They say, right, we're going to go and get the bomb, Grace. You wait here. They're counting on her to run aboard the yacht and try and betray them, which she does, right? And they're like, where's the bomb? And Peterson's like, Grace is
the bomb.
The bomb.
Grace is the bomb. Again, insane thing to say to the guy that you're doing this plan to kill. Like you've got him in there and you're just telling him everything. I love that this villain cannot, for the life of him, not tell someone when he's got a good plan. Like it's so good.
While playing like beginner's chess, like
he's
Mr.
got
Bond.
Chess for dummies open up here, and he's like, Mr. Bond, I fucking outsmarted you once again.
Mr. Bond, which way does the fucking horsey go?
Holding it upside down, you know, fucking idiot.
You're bluffing.
Makes 4 illegal moves in succession, Mr. Bond. I believe that's Yahtzee.
3 strikes and you're out of chess, Mr. Drummond. So Drummond tries to do a run for it, basically. And then they have this like weird thing where Peterson is stalking him through the chessboard. Because the pieces are huge. Cool. They're like 9 feet tall. He's stalking him through the chessboard and they're like moving chess pieces around to have cover or to box each other in.
Really creative setup for like the final gunfight of the movie.
Yeah, I like
Genuinely
this.
loved it.
Peterson starts panicking. He shoots all like the round, or he shoots 6 of his rounds. And Drummond says, "You only get 7 with a Beretta, Peterson." My notes say, "I never got any with a Beretta."
But something else I also love, he immediately shoots off the 7th round, like straight away.
Like, fuck you, actually. Yeah.
Because he gets scared again. Like, he gets rattled by his big chessboard. It's your big chessboard, dude.
My brother in Christ, you built the big chessboard.
You have engineered every single possible part of this situation, and now you're getting scared.
Chang gets changed to a permanent end.
Yep.
Chang gets changed, yeah, whatever.
Yep.
Back on the yacht, the nephew is like, okay, well, you stay here with this woman we don't know as the bomb, and I'll go with a couple of your boys up to the castle to help Drummond. Which is a lucky break because together they defeat Peterson by like throwing him into a chess hole.
They box him in with the fucking 4 knights on each side, and he drops into like a hole in the ground, and it immediately sets off a leap of fucking smoke, like in Robot Wars. Like he just falls into the hole.
Yeah, I think one of the knights falls on his head. I think that's the idea.
They push an extra one over top. Yeah,
they could not ignore the opportunity to have the line checkmate.
Of course,
perfect. This rules.
Well, so Drummond like throws Peterson into the chess hole, and then the 2 women with machine guns show up, and it cuts to the nephew outside and the sound of machine gun fire. So for all the world, it seems like they have just fucking executed Drummond.
Oh well.
movie ends there. Yeah, no,
fair enough. Happens to the best of us.
But they also in the chess hole. Get in the chess hole.
Genuinely, if you get done in like this, you don't see heaven. Like, I'm sorry. No matter if you haven't done any crimes.
They specifically established that Peterson has what he likes to call a dojo and a guy who he likes to call Chang in order to teach these women what he likes to call martial arts. And yet, the second he is like chess hold, the big switch of like women can fight good is turned to off because Drummond and his nephew just fully like pick up these women and they're like, they're like kicking their legs and making girl noises. They get fucking chest hold as well. The misogyny just goes to yes.
It's crazy. Yeah.
They have guns. Like, it's not even a fight. I guess they didn't feel confident staging one of those. So they just have them like pick them up by the midriff, you know?
They're deadlier than the male.
Apparently not. Chess hole for these 2. Chess hole, million
they
years.
They get put in the chess hole.
1,000 years chess hole.
Doesn't explode though.
I write down here, women love to get easily overpowered.
They're like, all right, you're going in the hole. Get over here. Oh no!
So they have to race back to the yacht where they realize that the bomb is on the fucking Grace.
It must be on Grace somewhere, and they
on her person. She's wearing a very prominent necklace as well.
Yeah, which it turns out it isn't, which I like.
Yeah,
really like that.
I was thinking when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, the fucking prominently placed necklace, obvious place for it. Not so.
They take Ekman and Penelope at gunpoint hostage, and then they're like on the boat. They're stripping Grace off to try and find the bomb.
There's a big fat guy who's like really greasy and wearing a like themed gooning t-shirt as well. And a couple of things here. First of all, Penelope takes one look at him and is kind of like biting her lip. And Ekman is the one who has to like kind of slap her hand away, which is really funny.
It's like, for fuck's sake, can you please?
Can you keep your mind on your fucking work?
I really like, because when the 2 of them are like being catty about Grace, because they've been arguing every time we've seen them on screen for like half the movie. And then the second they're being catty about a third party, they're getting on again. It's like, this is the way to maintain relationships in your 30s.
Find someone you both hate.
It's so easy.
As they're like tearing Grace's clothes off, the guy covering them with the gun, whom Penelope has been like, damn, he's kind of nice with it though, turns to get distracted because this is a woman having her clothes torn off.
It genuinely is like, oh.
Yeah, and they just run. They just make a run for it.
Also, when she's naked, Drummond just like picks up Grace and dumps her overboard. It's like, well, I guess you're gonna fucking die because we can't find the bomb.
So I can't find it. All right, best off. Yeah, genuinely.
The real like care and compassion for which the insurance agency is famed.
Needs of the many.
This is the king of somewhere.
Like so many people before you, you need to now die for the good of Lloyd's Insurance.
Yeah.
Probably not even the first time Lloyd's Insurance has thrown someone off a boat. Like,
oh God, yeah.
Yeah, not even close to the first time.
Who's your insurer? She goes, Barclays. He's like, nah, fuck off.
Get out of it.
Yeah, and as Ekman, and her first name is Irma, by the way. That's a joke that's played for laugh when she's tried to fuck him earlier. He's like, what's your name? And she's like, Irma, and he's like, that's a very sexy name.
I guess it's not sexy enough as Brenda, I guess, you know?
Yeah, that's not the real shit, like Peggy.
Yeah. Whoa.
Barking like a dog when a woman tells me her name is Peggy.
Oh, you met my grandma.
Yeah, she's really hot. Date older women. As they're making good their escape, Penelope's like, so where was the bomb anyway? And Ekman's like, oh, it was in her like chignon, in her like hairpiece, the kind of updo thing. And in a perfect like girl moment, now that misogyny is back on, Penelope does the whole slow react. But that's the thing that I stole from her because it was cuter than mine, and the one that I'm wearing right now. And then waits a solid like
genuinely like a full 10 seconds since the reveal. You can take that off. You can go, whoop.
You can take a chignon off pretty easily. Pretty easily.
I'd say if I knew it was a bomb, I would lose this very fast.
Pretty much the moment that they realized the bomb wasn't in any of her clothes and stripped her naked, I'd be like, Oh, it could be the headpiece, actually.
It could be the one thing that I've...
Just covertly take this off and stash it on board the boat.
But Penelope goes out like any of us would, looking gorgeous. She explodes. It just kills them both. That's the movie.
Drummond says, I guess success went to her head. And everyone goes, how did you know the bomb was in the... You weren't on the... You didn't see that scene because that happened over there.
How would you possibly make that line?
Can you read lips? How did you do that? Is that the script? Do you have the script, Drummond?
It like zooms, it does a little circle. You can hear them all saying that the whole time. Like, what? What are you talking about? The end.
And they all like dive overboard to save a naked Grace who is like treading water, and that's the movie.
And I guess by the rubric of how big was the boat they blew up at the end, this is a very low budget movie.
Oh God, we're on a boat again!
Yeah, bitch, we're always on a boat. It's all we could afford.
I would like for us to do maybe even one movie where someone is not burned with cigarettes, but
I'm so sorry, dog. I'm genuinely, I don't know how I keep doing this.
It's fine. In the getting burned with cigarettes sweepstakes, it's not as good as the card counter, but I still really enjoyed it. I really liked this movie. I had a great time with it.
Fantastic time.
It's a great film, yeah. It's fine.
It's not like, I mean, well, we don't have to speculate about this. We have a science-based system.
Oh my God.
It's called the SCUM system. It stands for SMARM, cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny. How smarmy is deadlier than the male?
Unbelievably.
7.
Yeah.
It's got to be. Every scene has
it.
some kind of like, it's good, but yeah.
Yeah, we can't break the boundary because it's not a penalizing amount, but like it is smarmy. It's very, very smarmy.
It's well done, SMARM. 7.
Yeah.
Cultural insensitivity. I mean, the United Nations of pussy.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. Like in the last half, it gets really quite considerable.
Yellow face.
Like at least 4, maybe even 5.
Chang alone is worth like a bushel of points. Yeah.
Chang alone brings it up to 5, I think. Yeah.
Chang is 5. Unprovoked violence. He does torture that guy with the Rolls Royce.
Yeah, true. Oh, I forgot to mention that the guy, the legs poking out front of the desk when Weston gets killed were the Italian guys. So like they tortured that guy and then set him up to get like blown up. That was what happened. Just to mention. Unprovoked violence against fucking Italians.
Non-white. Oh!
What does he do to...
He
I mean,
genuinely
tortures
not
one
a ton.
guy.
There's one torture and that's about it, really. Like he keeps his hands as clean as possible.
I mean, we can't say that like it's a minor thing to be like it's one torture.
It's one torture in the grand. Yeah, I guess this is the way that these movies have broken my sense of what is normal or not. But it's just one torture, and they did kick the shit out of him just before he did it. Like, but you know, still
3.
It's excessive. 3, sure.
Yeah.
Misogyny. Now this is awkward because again we can't accommodate for women doing things wrong.
We're just going to have to add that in a separate bit, I think. Like,
The misogyny of the movie, I guess, is both, you know.
Pretty fucking high.
It graphs as well because like it gets higher later on as women become less competent.
Yeah.
It falls apart because the whole point of like these 2 women managing to be like this criminal enterprise here, our Winton kid, is that you're supposed to be like, oh, we love to underestimate women, and that's how they can get in there. Like the movie wants you to be like, oh, it's terrible that we underestimate women. Or maybe more, it wants you to be like, obviously we all underestimate women. But what if there were some that were good? They could use that to like get competently and then it falls apart in the second half because they're just like, what if they were actually all fucking useless? What about that?
Yeah, especially since they die because Penelope is kind of like a bimbo, and it's like, that's a shame.
Yeah.
And it reveals that the sexy, competent ladies have been for the enjoyment of the presumed straight male audience.
Shame.
I enjoy Penelope as a character, and I think that she's based. The movie does not think that she's based. The movie thinks that she's fun and hot, but is like, women are a bit daft, right?
Yes.
I like that Drummond doesn't shag at any point.
Yeah.
Brenda, yeah.
Well, he fucks Peggy, but that's like a wholly consensual thing.
Yes.
As far as we know.
Yeah, that's nice too, actually.
They're playing chess together. Like, that's, you know.
Yeah, they go on a date.
Yeah, they're
yeah, like,
nice.
That's cool. I really appreciate that he doesn't fuck Brenda, like you say.
Yep.
I think that if they had just fucking made Peterson a woman, it would be a solid point better.
Yeah, several even.
Yeah.
5, 6.
It makes women characters a bit when it feels like it, and then it gets scared and goes back on it. And I think I want to be forgiving to it because, again, I think what if you had a fucking female Mr. Wint and Mr. Kid is like platinum shit to me. But they don't really like follow that through.
But they have to be sexy though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the unspoken rule.
Give me mid lesbian Wint and Kid, please, and thank you, any makers of films. For this movie, I want to say like 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For the sake of doing something unexpected, 5.
Okay.
Is
well,
my
speaking of
answer.
things that were unexpected, I guess we have to like, for the first time ever, add like an extra thing for female on male sexual assault.
Yeah, I mean, this is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's of a kind of misogyny that would be very familiar. Like, it's something I remember Elena Yaniga talking about Middle Ages misogyny of like women as kind of like nymphomaniac sexual beings who like can't control our urges, unlike the kind of like coldly rational men.
Maybe we can bring this into misogyny then.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it is, yeah.
Just for the sake of argument.
Ekman describes Penelope as having the morals of an alley cat. Like she's like inhumanly horny, right?
Yeah.
Unable to control herself. It's like just perverse that it's sadistic rather than masochistic, you know? I think on that basis, yeah, you can fold it into misogyny, in which case, where the fuck did I say 5? 7?
I feel like we need to go into the punitive zone here because I feel uncomfortable saying that female on male sexual assault is only worth like 2 points, whatever. Like,
Sure.
I think so. Yeah, no, I fully
we've
agree.
come down extremely hard on like sexual assault in the past, rightly so.
I think Goldfinger ended up being like 9.
Goldfinger was a 9.
Yeah,
it was
I think
9 because
so.
we hadn't set the hard cap of 10, which I believe it would have touched.
That was a corrective rape.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's going to be 8 or 9, I think, in my book.
Yeah, put it at 9.
This is always a problem when you put a number on it, but yeah, I'm happy with like either of those.
Putting any number leads you to be like, oh, this is a worse kind of sexual assault than this one, and there is no such thing.
Why did we do a numbered scale on this again?
Well, science-based.
Science.
8?
Yeah.
It's engaging for the listeners. They love numbers. It helps.
Yeah, 8. Sure.
That gives us a total score of 23.
Which is a bad score for an enjoyable film, is the thing.
Great time watching this objectively very bad movie.
I want to show this to a room full of queer people, very badly, in fact.
It is the same as Goldfinger, but I enjoyed it more.
Insane, because like
the science, baby.
I know. I mean, I refuse to accept that this is Goldfinger's kind of like Red Grant, that this is its like Dark Mirror or whatever, because I don't think it's trying to do the same things, and I don't know. The vibe is different on this one.
It's as bad as Octopussy.
Wow. Ooh.
1967, this one came out, so that would have been You Only Live Twice era.
Yeah, back when James Bond was becoming Japanese.
Yeah.
It's worse than You Only Live Twice. You Only Live Twice was 22.
Jesus.
Well, that's science for you. We give it, it's a problematic fave.
Absolutely.
That's science, baby. The next episode is another OSS 117, Double Agent.
Yay.
New OSS actor. Let's see.
Now he's OSS 234.
Woo!
Do I have to have seen the previous 116 OSSs to...
No, but we have.
Yeah, I really feel that I have done.
God. Okay.
The next bonus episode is a movie that I've been excited to show you to for a while. It's a film by Sebastian Lelio called The Wonder with Florence Pugh. So look forward to that. Subscribe to the Patreon if you haven't already.
Wonder.
Thank you. Wonder. I've come to see your wonder.
Sorry, I derailed you. You were right there. You had it.
No.
You had the closer.
It's fully like
Monster.
There you go. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
That's a nasty burn. You really ought to learn how to control your girlfriends, yeah?
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. I am Devon, as always, and you know what the next episodes are because you just heard them just now. I'm recording this one after the end of the episode, so I remember what I said. You know what's happening. I mean, I guess I'll just get to the special thanks. Special thanks for our £15 and above patrons, our favorite patrons. And that's Lo Bjornsdottir, Candy Fox, Freya Aloysius, Gustavo Lira, Jack Holmes, Jordan Gammy, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhart, Nick Boris, Jason Harger, Nato Mori, George Rohart, Kentucky Fried Commie, Drone Lover, Yarrick, Melody Mora Gonzalez, Labor Delenda Est, feeling that one strongly now that the election has been called. Callum Burney, J. Martindale, Trib, Top O, Library Hitman, Max Gamain Hart, Jonathan Gerd, Mothman, Beef Crime, Kit Devine, Jack Drummond, Steve Widdishins, Stazykins, Troy Hudson, Lyndon Rose, Maeve Victoria Roth, Rosie Can't Fail, Anhedonia, Them Fatale, Artemis, Claire, Forrest L. Novell, Anya Top, The Project, Lenina, Beth Lucy Stab, Emerus, Trans Commissar Sorsha, some sort of silly Canadian creature, Arthur Sex Crimes, Whitney Wolverine, Loretta Meserve, Ash, not in Florida, a trans robot, Hell, Just the Worst, A.R. Lou Bega impersonator, nice, Joyce Uwu, Touchable Tips, San Hutchin, Akira, KN Belladonna, Violet Cybra, Isopod Gal, Lady Ariane, Annie Ruby, Katie Brobes, Clarification, Bronan, Noblesse Oblahai, Alex, Connor's Cool Big Sister, John 2089, Gay Perry, cool, Sengshen, Liz and Ash in India, cool, Corvid Cultist, Wolfscott, Rope Trick 2024, I think is what that says. Quinn Valeri, Wolfie is normal, Al Irwing, Finn Ross, Philippa Smith is decidedly not normal, but thank you for the vote of confidence. Have you gotten any more normal since you wrote that? Reply by changing your name for the next chat outro. Robert Greensmith, Loz Pycock, Mega Combi, Pandora Hex, Abigail, Emily, Queen of Sloths, Misidentified Lemon, Turfsy Shit and Die Alone, Josh Simmons, off to the protests. I'll pick you up on the way. Nice. Get your ass to a protest. It's more important now than ever. Zoe Shepherd, Talkative Tiger, Lauren Bastin, and Cariad. Thank you for listening to Kill James Bond. We are, of course, November, Abigail and Devon, our producer, the wonderful Mr. Nate Bethay. Our podcast art is by Matty Levchansky, and our website is by Tom Allen. And I'll see you next time. Mwah.